Hey guys, I wanted to show you the way I'm doing my pleated mask. 2 pieces of material, 8.5 by 14 or 8.5 by 15, it's your choice. I take it and I'm going to that orange piece, the right side of the material goes down, so it goes out. And so you're going to see, we're going to flip it, make an envelope, so it'll be right sides together, edge to edge. And so we're going to put a pin in that, line it up, and then I'm going to make a stitch, not all the way across the edge, but at the top of the edge and the bottom of the edge. And you'll see in just a second. About 1.5 to 2 inches is what I'm doing. And you're not going to go all the way across because this one is going to have a flap in it or a pocket. And this one could be used with or without a filter. It is 4 pieces of material thick. Without the filter. And so you can see I did the 1.5 at the top, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to do the exact same thing. 1.5, 2 inches. It doesn't have to be exact. And then you're going to take it to your ironing board and you're going to iron the flap crease open so that we can top stitch it. So you'll see, I just take it and lay it down. You're going to open up your seam and you're going to run your iron over it to lay it flat. And then here in a second, you'll see the opening. And there is our pocket flap. So now we're going to take it back to the machine, and now we're going to top stitch. So see how I'm turning it? Because I couldn't figure this out at first. Since it's a tube, you lay it in this direction, and I'm going to go down one side and then down the other, and I'm going to top stitch it. And I know it's hard to see here in a second because the material kind of gets clumpy and my fingers are in the way. I'm sorry. I should have adjusted the camera angle a little bit. But you can kind of see it right there. See the opening, and I'm just top stitching along. So really the key to this is to go slow. So just take your time, make sure your fabric is straight and your seam line is straight, and then just go down your side. When I get to the end, I don't remove it from the machine. I basically just move it over to the other side, and then I turn my material and I come straight back down the other side to sew the top stitch on the opposite side of the pocket. As you can kind of see right there when my clunky fingers get out of the way. And then that's your top stitch for your opening. Then you're going to take your material and you're going to flip it right side out. So we're going to turn it. And now you have it. And so what I do is I go about 1 inch down. That's going to give me room to add my nose piece, the wire for the nose piece, and then also give me room for my pleats. So let me scoot the machine back and I'm going to show you how I do my pleats. You don't have to be perfect, guys. It doesn't have to be ironed. If you want to go iron it, measure it, go ahead. But I am trying to get these done very quickly and it really doesn't matter. So I'm just putting 3 pleats in, and as you can see, I'm going about 1 inch down, 1.5 inches down, and I do a small pleat and I pin the one side. And then I try to eyeball it, make sure it looks like it's going straight across and kind of run it across so it's laying really nice, and then I pin the other side. Then I'm going to do another pleat. Eyeball it again, go about another inch, do a little pleat, pin it in place, and I'm going to repeat it on the other side. Again, making sure it looks like it's pretty even straight across. And then I'm going to do the third pleat, and again, just eyeballing it, going down, and you couldn't see that, and then pin it in place on both sides. And then you have your center pocket, basically. I mean, your center mask. So I started the top edge where I did that 2 inch, and I'm going to top stitch. I don't do the center yet because I'm going to top stitch over the center after I add the nose piece, and I don't have my wire in that I want to put in there until tomorrow. So right now you're just going to see how I'm finishing them until I get to the nose piece. So go over all of your pleats, make sure your material's laying nice and flat, and then sew across the bottom top stitching as well. And go all the way across the bottom. And then my presser foot gets hung on the under the material, so I had to adjust it. Sorry about that. But then I'm going to line it back up, put it back down, and sew to the corner. Then I'm going to turn it and do the other side. And then this side, I just am going a little bit slower because I want to make sure my pleats don't flip up because I'm sewing against them instead of downward, if that makes sense. And sorry, my fingers are in the way. But you know what I'm doing. Basically sewing down the edge and making sure your pleats are anchored now. And then go across the top again, about 2 inches, not all the way. Remember, we're going to add that nose piece. And that's about it for that. Now I take it off. I have the center is completely top stitched and ready. So I cut 2 little strips, and I didn't even measure them, guys, because you can cut them after you get them on, honestly. And I used scrap, but I take my 2 pieces of cut ribbon. I'm using 15 inches of ribbon on both sides. This is being pinned to the back side of the mask. So the side that has my pocket flap on it, I will pin these in the 2 corners. Then I take this piece, right sides together, center it, and pin it in place. And then I'm going to wrap the edge around the back, and you'll see why in a second. And then pin it back in place, and the same for the other side. And then I'm going to take it back to the machine, and I'm going to stitch that all together. So just stitch down the edge, make sure you're catching your ribbons and everything looks nice. And then you're going to take it off the machine, and you'll see why we turned that piece under in just a second. Strings, I've got strings everywhere. So now it kind of makes a little cuff, as you can see. So take it to your ironing board if you want to, and you're going to just fold it in half, and you're going to press it down, and then when I fold it over the mask, you'll see it is now made the binding edge or the finished edge. And I make sure I pull the string or the strap out because I'm pinning it down, if you can see. Because when I sew this, I want to sew over that strap so it sews it nicely and snugly to the edge of the mask fabric. And then you'll repeat on the other side. Or if you want to speed it up, you don't even have to iron it. Just use your fingers, flip it, and flip it again. Now I will say this one's probably not going to have the crisp line like a professional, but it still looks fine, honestly. So it's totally up to you. You can either eyeball it and do it this way, or you can go to the ironing board and iron it down. And I'm pinning it in place with the ribbon behind it. Make sure that ribbon's behind it. Take it to your machine, and then I go along the left edge, and I sew all the way down. The left edge of it. And this is making your finished edging or the binding look that makes it look really nice. And then I'm going to turn it, and then I'm going to come back up the other side, again making sure that your ribbon stays in place where it needs to be, because this is basically securing it all the way to the edge of the material right now. And then come down the outside edge. Sorry, my fingers are in the way again. I really need to adjust the camera next time. And that light is hard to see on this orange material. And then go back over it, back stitch just a little bit, and then there you have it. You can clip it and you have done that one side. Then you're going to go do the other side the exact same way that we just did. And sorry, my camera wasn't adjusted so you can't see what I'm doing right there. Cutting my strings is what I'm doing. And there you can see that side's done. Oh, they're both done. And so there's my pocket. This can be used with or without.